I gave my kidney to her, sending me into a coma. By the time I woke up, I saw she had moved on with my best friend part 2. I didn't leave right away. For the first few days, I stayed in my old room, barely moving. I didn't eat. I didn't speak. I just stared at the ceiling, reliving everything, her laugh, her promises, the way she looked at me that day, like I was just a ghost. At night, I cried. Not the loud, dramatic kind. The quiet, suffocating kind that creeps into your chest and makes you feel like breathing is too much effort. I cried until my eyes dried out, until my body ached, until there was nothing left inside me but silence. Then one morning, I looked at myself in the mirror, really looked, and saw someone I didn't recognize. Not because I had changed, but because I was finally ready to. I left town with 2 bags, a half-healed body, and barely enough money for a few weeks. I didn't know where I was going. I just knew I couldn't stay. I found a small town 2 hours away, quiet, with nothing to remind me of them. I rented a cheap room in a rundown hostel. I picked up small jobs, dishwashing, night security, odd jobs. Anything that paid. There were nights I went to sleep hungry. Nights I walked through rain with no umbrella. I worked until my hands cracked and bled. I couldn't afford comfort. But I had something more important, peace. And in that peace, I found someone new. Her name was Amira. She worked in a dusty used bookstore down the street. We crossed paths often, at the bus stop. At the cafe I cleaned on weekends, at the grocery store where we both reached for the same loaf of bread. She was quiet. Kind. Always reading something. She saw something in me, maybe the pain I tried to hide, or maybe the way I flinched whenever someone got too close. She didn't try to fix me. She just sat with me. And I didn't trust her at first. But slowly, I let her in. We started dating the old-fashioned way, long walks, sharing cheap meals, laughing under broken streetlights. We had nothing, but it felt like enough. One day, while talking, I told her about a dream I once had, to open a cafe. A small, warm place where people could slow down and feel at home. Her eyes lit up. I've always wanted to run something like that, she said. Books, coffee, art, a little haven. We had no money. No investors. No backing. But we had each other. We pooled every cent we had and rented a tiny corner space on the edge of town. The paint was peeling. The floors creaked. But it was ours. We called it Second Chance. We worked double shifts, she baked, I brewed. She painted the walls herself. I made wooden shelves from thrown-out crates. We slept in the back room for months, taking turns keeping the lights on. Some days we made barely enough to survive. But we kept going. One morning, a travel vlogger came in during a storm, loved the place, and made a short video about it. It went viral. And just like that, everything changed. Customers started pouring in. Locals, tourists, strangers who drove hours just to visit. Our tiny cafe became a sanctuary. We opened a second one 2 towns over. Then a third. Eventually, we started a small chain of cafes, all with the same warm lighting, bookshelves, and heart. We became something. I proposed to her at the back of our original cafe, under the same light bulb that flickered the day we opened. She cried and said yes. We married in spring. Small. Simple, beautiful. A few years later, we had twins, a boy and a girl. I named the boy after my father. She named the girl after a poet she loved. I had never known happiness like that. And for the first time in my life, I felt whole. Then, one day, I got a message from someone I never expected to hear from again. Lana. She didn't say much. Just. Can we talk? Please. Just once. I didn't reply. But I looked her up, curiosity, not longing. And what I saw told me everything. She and Jude had been caught embezzling money from their company. Apparently, they'd built a business, but greed got the better of them. He disappeared after the arrest. Left the country. Left her to face it alone. She spent 7 months in prison. When she got out, she filed for bankruptcy. Everything they built. Gone. Her social media accounts were deleted. No followers. No brand. No smiles. Just a quiet, fading name. I saw her one last time, by chance, in a grocery store in another city. She looked tired. Thin. Worn down. She didn't recognize me at first. But when she did, she froze. I looked at her for a moment, not with hatred, not even anger. Just a quiet sense of understanding. She made her choices. And I made mine. And mine led me to something beautiful. I nodded once, politely, and walked away. She never called again. Now, years later, I sit in the same cafe we built from nothing, second chance still written above the door. Amira is behind the counter, laughing with our kids. Customers sip coffee, read, breathe. And me? I just smile. Because everything I thought I lost was leading me to this.